Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today. Today I will be doing a video on the cosmic powers of the universe. There's 7 of these cosmic powers, and I can only do justice by giving an overview. All this information is quite detailed, like all the ancient philosophies and doctrines and spiritual practices and knowledge. All I could do today is an overview. And what I will do later is I'll start with the first power. What I will do later is go a little deeper into each of the powers and just focus on that particular power in that video. But for today, I'm just going to do an overview. The information that I use for this video comes from a book called The Sacred Magic of Ancient Egypt, written by a woman named Rosemary Clark. Now let's look at the contents of the book. Most of what I'm going to be talking about today comes from chapter 1, The Legacy of Ancient Egypt. And what I realized and what you will realize looking at this book, and if you've studied other areas of these ancient people known as the Egyptians, Typhonians, Kemetans, Ethiopians, Nubians, whatever you would like to call them, one thing you realize is that they had no doubt about the fact that they were connected to universal living minds, and that in this physical body, they were just a physical representation of something higher, and all aspects of life depicted that. All the rituals were based on that understanding. The architecture was based on that understanding. Artwork. You can pause the video if you want to just go deeper into what the particular chapters are about, and you notice that there's 7 chapters. Wonder if she did that intentionally. Okay, so there's 7 cosmic powers of the universe. Before I start, I must define what cosmic means. If you look at Webster's, you'll see that cosmos relates to all things, not just what's on earth, and that cosmic also has a spiritual or a metaphysical connotation connected to it. What we do as individuals, and it's, this is the world we live in, what we're usually presented with cosmic as something being or consisting of what's in space. Planets, stars, the sun. Cosmic generally does not apply to us when the word is used in many of our modern societies. But when you look at these 7 cosmic powers, it should be clear to you that cosmic includes yourself. But there are also powers. The cosmic powers applies to all of life. Now, the 7 cosmic powers that are listed in the book are Ma'at, Heka, Sia, Hu, Ma, Sejum, and Sa. Let's start with Ma'at. To fully understand Ma'at, you should have a picture of mathematics in your head. The order and structure of mathematics is life. The order and structure in your life is mathematics. It is Ma'at. It is obvious to each and every one of us that we all have some degree of Ma'at in our lives. The mastery of Ma'at and these other 6 principles or powers, our mastery of these powers allows us to gain mastery of our lives. One thing that's beautiful about the ancient peoples is that they represented different principles with consciousnesses and symbols, so that we understood these things as living powers or conscious powers. They weren't inanimate. They weren't a collection of matter, what we call matter. They were living aspects of ourselves and the universe included, the cosmic world, which I'm including us in there. That's Ma'at. We're all masters of all 7 of these powers. How much have you mastered Ma'at will be represented in your life. That will be the reward. Heka. Heka is magic, not tricks. Magic, creativity. The fact that you can have a picture of something in your mind at will, and from that picture produce something in the physical world, your creation, that's magic. You can't see the thoughts. You can only see the thoughts once they're represented in the physical world. You can't see the living mind. You can find evidence of living mind everywhere you go, everywhere you look, if you acknowledge it. That's true magic. That's the true creativity. That you can take nothing, something that you can't see, and produce something that everybody can see. That's magic. That's Heka. Sia is intelligence. But we must separate intelligence from education or socializing. Socialization. Street smarts. Right? That's socialization. Sia represents knowledge and wisdom that includes what we like to call our feelings, our gut feelings. There's a lot that can be gained and known from what some call instinctual knowledge. How does a baby know to suckle when they're born? A lot of our knowledge is intuition. That's knowing. Intuition is connecting to universal living mind and knowing. Knowing by feeling. You can feel truth. Truth can be felt. Intuition is a feeling, right? You can feel it. You can feel it, and that's Sia. That's knowledge. Well, it includes it. It's not exclusive, but wisdom of learning and living is also knowledge. Who is utterance, speaking. What you speak is based on what you will. What you will do or want to do is based on what you speak. Not necessarily the words that you use that produce sound, but what you're telling yourself. This relates to the first of the 12 mental disciplines known as Simon Peter. Simon Peter is what you're hearing, that the voice inside you, the voice that's speaking, that the voice that's uttering. You cannot do that and not connect that to some action, based on your will. And mastery of this, like the others, allows you to control what you produce, what you create. This is the principle behind affirmations, saying affirmations over and over and over and over until you really can feel that thing that you're trying to produce. That's speaking. That's internal speaking, and it could be external speaking, law of correspondence. As within, so without. What you're hearing inside is what you produce without. I go over that in my natural law video, the first video I've done for this channel. Ma'a is sight. Observation. Ma'a is the sight that is produced, or that is a function of the pineal gland. We have internal sight and we have external sight or external vision. And seeing is not just the external. It doesn't mean only what you can see with your 2 eyes. Some observation takes place without your eyes even being open. A lot of sight, a lot of vision happens with your eyes closed. And you cannot close your eyes and not have vision. You'll see something. Some picture will pop up there. Now, as a power, you can use your conscious mind to see those things that you wish to see for the purpose of obtaining some goal or some level of awareness and consciousness in this physical body. All of these principles, these powers, once understood, once acknowledged, you can master it for your own personal desires in life. Sight, a better word for ma'at would be, I think, awareness. And as with all these powers and everything in my videos, I can only give you my interpretation, of course, right? You may see it some different way, which is you will most likely see it differently from how I'm seeing these and how I interpret these powers. And that's the power of being human. Let's look at Sejum. Sejum is sound, but I would change that from sound to vibration. Because, and if you look at the human power of sound, it's cognizance, understanding. Now this one, Sejum, was a difficult power for me to understand when I first looked at this, when I first read this book. It works better for me to use vibration in place of sound. Because you can cognize without sound, physical sound of air molecules bouncing, between them until it reaches your eardrum. There's vibration that happens at a level where your ears cannot pick it up. But it's a transmission of knowledge. Sejum for me represents the accessing of a particular vibration, and that vibration could be anything that gives you knowledge or gives you wisdom. It's what you focus your attention on, a particular vibration. A good analogy would be the radio station analogy, right? There are different frequencies on the radio dial. Do they still have dials in this day and age? There are different frequencies, and you can tune in to any particular frequency based on your consciousness. Those are all vibrations. And to what's being perceived or what's being transmitted by that vibration is cognizance. That's understanding. There's something there that you're going to pick up, that you're going to understand, that you're going to learn. There's some wisdom there. That's how I best understand Sejum. Okay, Sa. Sa was another difficult one to grasp. But what I can tell you about Sa, it was easier for me to understand what Sa is by first understanding the ether, what physics studies or what physics discusses about the ether, but also looking at the historical understandings of the ether. Now, this definition is going to definitely require you to have an open mind, okay? And some people may be offended by what I'm about to say about Sa. But Sa is transference. Sa is transition. Sa is transmutation, the changing of one form to another form. The ancients, what we call melanin today, is what Sa was to the ancients from what I've studied. And based on my understanding, what we call melanin, and melanin is not just pigment for the skin, or you don't just find it in the eardrum, you don't just find it in your pupils and your eyes. What Sa is on the universal level, on a cosmic level, is that essence or that thing or that entity or power that transforms a vibration from one state to another state. In biology, you learn about the blastula, right? Blastula, blackberry. That's what blastula means, blackberry. That fertilized egg is essentially melanin, a ball of melanin. And from that ball of melanin, you get initially the brain and the spinal cord nerves become the peripheral nervous system. And later on, the development of all the organs, cells, and the entire body. Now, you definitely have a transmutation happening there from one form to another form. There's no doubt about that. But now on a cosmic level, you also have the transition of vibration from one state to another state. And that's the highest and purest form of melanin that the ancients called Sa. As a chemist, I studied melanin, and in organic chemistry, I think it's 20 different organic structures, and these are very complex organic structures in chemistry of melanin, which is a biomolecule, a living molecule, like the living mind, universal living mind. It thinks, and that shouldn't be too much of a stretch because the other parts of the body, that has melanin in it. All of our organs have melanin in them, and many of these organs operate without us even knowing that anything's going on. What science calls automated. I like the word living. Automated sounds mechanical. Living is life. And Sa, which is called the ether in physics, Sa is a thinking transmutator. It's changing vibration from one state to another state. The constitution, the backbone of all the universe. In Clark's book, you can see that she delegates the power, the human power of Sa as affinity, attraction. Another word for attraction is love. So in that respect, it's easy to see that love, affinity, attraction is the backbone of the universe. The cosmic world, including us, right? Affinity, bringing things together. Solidity. This topic, this subject matter is quite complex, and I've only scratched the surface. I will do more videos and go in depth with each of these 7 principles in later videos. So subscribe. I do a video a week generally, but I have 4 other channels. So it may be a few weeks before I get back to this particular channel, but just subscribe and keep abreast, and more videos are to come. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Enjoy your day.